Oh, there you go. Okay, now we're recording. Well, friends, I don't know. I was listening to the radio, I guess, while doing some of these videos, and a lot of talk coming out of the AM, and I'm imagining the FM dial too. There's a lot of talk about what is it now? The drug du jour, fentanyl, and people are dying from taking it. Um, that ought to be. I would hope that would be warning enough to just about anyone listening to maybe consider the thought that you ought to stay away from that stuff. You know, from what I understand, even a tiny, tiny amount can wipe you out. From what I hear, can kill you, and or and, and evidently, a lot of times people don't have a concept of when they say tiny, they mean tiny. You think, oh well, heck, that's only a only a quarter of an ounce. I can take that. No, maybe not. Maybe not. And next thing, and you're a long time dead. It's and that's it just ain't a wise idea to be trying that stuff if you like living. And you know, people say, well, yeah, that's the latest and greatest new drug on the market. No, 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 no. It's fentanyl. It can kill you, and you'll be uh, you'll be in the Undertaker before you know it. It's not good. And the thing is, from what I gather, this stuff they say just like the tiniest amount imaginable can really put a hurt on you, and it's so senseless. Uh, you, and you know the thing is, this isn't an old thing. There were people dying long ago of heroin overdoses. Some cases uh, just right down. They had too strong a dose. Out they went. I had well, I remember when I was rescued down in North Carolina. And I've told this story, but I'm going to tell it again. Uh, there was this. I was on duty one night. We get a call to report to the railroad crossing, a certain railroad crossing in town, city of Wilson, North Carolina. Got there, and the police said it's down the track there. Down the track there, there's a girl trapped in a car, and a passenger train just hit their car, hit the car, and a bunch of kids, I guess, were joyriding around in it, which kids do. And lo and behold, we get down to go running down to the spot on the along the rails there, and there's this car. Man, it is smushed. I mean, really bent up bad. And inside, there's a girl. She's all trapped up in there. And I was the skinniest. I was the skinniest, so I got elected to go in and see what was cooking. And we weren't quite sure if she was alive or dead, but when I got in there, it turned out, thank heaven, she was alive. But she was trapped, and we had to figure out how to get her the heck out of there. Plus, she had fractures all up and down her legs, in her arms. I think she may have had fractures. I mean, she got hit by a train, and but she was still alive. And I remember getting her. I said to her, "Let's call her Franny. Franny, what you doing in there?" And she says, "Oh my God," she says, "I've been hit that train." I said, "Well, we're going to get you out. Let me check you now." I said, now she was a teenage girl. I'd say 16 or so, if that. And I said, "Look, I've got to check you over. I'm not trying to get fresh or nothing, but I got to make sure you're not, wherever you're bleeding, we got to try to stop it." And also we've got a Jaws of Life coming. We're going to spread open the car and get you out of there. But right now, I've got to make sure you aren't bleeding badly, if that's okay. And I said, it might get personal, but I'm just here to help you. She says, I understand. And I start working on, she had, I don't think she had any vein arteries that got hit, so she wasn't squirting blood, but she was oozing blood from her veins a bit. And we got that. I had dressings handed in to me, and I got them on her and checked her from head to toe. And she had fractures. We had to get a splint or two on her, as the guys again were working on snapping the car away, peeling the car away so we could get her out. Finally, all that was done. Took about a half hour, and we couldn't give her anything for the pain because we weren't at that point. We weren't authorized to do drugs like a paramedic might do. But we got her as carefully as we could. We got her out there. There was a little bit of hollering when we got her on the stretcher, but once she was on the stretcher, she was feeling a bit better, and certainly happy to be out of that car because I think she was also afraid it might catch fire and stuff, and it could have. But the fire company was ready with that, and they had, I think they had sealed a few holes in the gas tank rather, I think, and all in all, we were shaping up pretty good. We felt pretty good. We got her out of there, blanket over her and stuff, and treated her for shock. Got her in the ambulance. I was riding in back with her, and we were checking for more injuries. I think it might have been a pelvic fracture as well. Again, like I said, I doubt she was 100 pounds soaking wet, and doggone the train hit her. So yeah, it was an unmatched. She was definitely not a match for the train. Oh, and the engineer was just frantic. He just felt so bad. I can still see that. But we got her in, and as we're riding in on the ambulance, I said, you're one of my first really serious calls. I've been doing stuff here with the squad for a while, but never anything quite as wild as this. But we're going to get you in okay. You're going to be all right. And just wanted to, wish you well. And she said, well, thank you. And she's, a little bit crying, a little bit just kind of in and out of consciousness and such. And we got her in. The ER took hold of her, and the doctor said, you did okay, South. You did okay. Yep, she's going to be all right. Boy, she sure got nailed. I said, yeah, she did. But she's a good trooper. She'll be all right. She'll be all right with you. He said, yeah, I know. We're going to dose her up a bit, and she won't be hurting too bad. And once we get we may even have to operate on her, but she'll be okay. I said, well, I'll come visit her as soon as I hear she's in one piece again. And he said, okay, cool. And turns out her mom was a waitress at one of the places, at one of the eateries in town where I used to go to get my breakfast. And the mom saw me, and she saw I was with Rescue. I must have had a lapel button or something on. And said, you guys took care of my daughter last night? I said, yeah, it was me. I couldn't buy a breakfast that day. My God, she piled the pancakes on and all that. And I said, well, from what I hear, she's going to be all right. And the mom said, yeah, I was talking to the doctor. Said it's mostly broken bones, and a little bit of internal bleeding, but they got it. And she's going to be all right. I said, well, thank heaven. And now and then I'd drop in. And it turned out that girl, once she got better, she was also the busser at that restaurant. Or at least she'd had a job doing that. And I'd run into her now and then. She'd sneak me over maybe a crawler or something to eat with my coffee. And it's a nice girl. And I don't know, I'd just let it be like that. And I remember one day going into the dispatch office at the dispatcher, the office, where the dispatcher would take a call and assign a duty crew. with directions. And I don't know, well, I'll call him Mr. Trent. I said, Mr. Trent, how we doing today? I'm on duty now. He said, okay. He says, your ambulance number two, and but right now, he said, I got to tell you, you know that girl you saved from the train wreck? You helped at the train wreck? I said, yeah, nice girl. He said, well, she's dead. I said, what? She died. She said, well, earlier last night. I guess you didn't have your your Plectern on, right? I said, no, I didn't. I wasn't on. He says, well, she's gone. They duty crew got to her house. She was unconscious. She had a needle stuck in her arm, and whatever was in that needle killed her instantly. I said, you're kidding. I said, I said, I know you're not kidding, but that can't be. He says, nope, she's dead. She she evidently they tested what was in the syringe, and she must have thought she was getting a weak dose, but it was a lethal dose. She didn't. She wasn't trying to commit suicide. She was just trying to get high, and stuff knocked her out. Bang! She didn't even needle didn't even come out of her arm. I said, "Oh," and you know, I was going to say, you think drugs are cool? Uh-uh. No, they aren't, and especially in the hands of you never really know just how much if you're going to if you're going to dilute it one way or another. You may think, oh, just it's an ounce of this, and I'll put an ounce of water in or whatever into the mixture, and I'll be fine. No, sometimes a drop or two is all it takes, and you're a goner, and it ain't going to be anyone bringing you back. It's just not. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes the crews will get there and they'll just be heartbroken at what they see. Perfectly good young person, male, female, maybe a guy and a gal. They There they are. They're dead. And they ain't coming back. It's 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 heart wrenching. It truly is heart wrenching. And that was such a nice girl with such a possibility of becoming someone, someone's mom, someone's wife, and a good citizen of her community. She just got involved in drugs and didn't really know the score as to how that stuff goes. And I guess they diluted what they thought would be okay. Oh, just cut it in half; it'll be okay. Not necessarily with these things. Sometimes that stuff is so darn potent, like they say with fentanyl, just a little drop might be all it takes, and you're a goner. It's amazing how strong that stuff can be. Stay away from it. Stay away from it if you value your life, and want to see someday your children, your husband or wife, grandchildren. Put that thing in your arm and squeeze it in. That might be all she wrote for you. You won't even know what hit you. So, and there'll be so many people heartbroken to see you gone. I don't think people get too mad anymore at people who take drugs, but I can see where they get mad. I'm sure when the police finally discovered whoever the heck it was sold her or gave her those drugs, I imagine that guy probably had a little bit of a rough time in his cell block, I would think. I'm sure they were pretty sore at him or her. You just gotta, that stuff ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Just thought I'd say, keep that in mind. And it's no sense being a statistic. Okay, we'll see you later. God bless, and be careful now. Don't be. Watch out for that. Just watch out for it. You'll be glad you did when someday, 20, 30 years from now, you got grandchildren. Okay, and tell them what I've told you. Catch you later. Bye now.